shot by Buddha. Facebook Gaming in the building.
Into the end zone! Five Nations, stand up!
Madden 26 is here. We had a whole baby old 10, 11 months. The last few months been tough. Listen to all the summer warriors talk about how great they is on Madden 25 when the new game is about to drop. College football dropping next month. Madden next. And somehow, Rich, we got the deep dive for Madden before college. So let's talk about it. What's your favorite new feature on Madden 26 from the patch notes?
Man, I got like a few, and I think Madden might be going in a direction that we want them to go in. I think maybe Madden and EA Sports have finally listened to the community, or they just really taking everything that they got from college football and flipping it over to Madden. Because that kind of seems what they kind of doing a little bit with some of the features. But I know we're going to go through the patch notes. I definitely want to talk about some of my favorite things that's going to be happening in Madden 26. Wear and tear is getting introduced into Madden. I think that's going to be fantastic. Weather, I'm not too, I like the weather aspect. I like that it's coming to the game. I just hope that it's really coming to the online modes because there ain't really no CPU type of dude no more. I want weather. I want the snow games. I want to be in cowboy whites playing mutt. I want to frustrate some people in the snow. So hopefully weather is coming to online gameplay head to head. I would love to see it. And something other than regs. Definitely bring it to mutt. I know we're going to talk about the different abilities that they made some adjustments to, which I'm all for because I know playing the game is definitely frustrating when you got 100% knockouts on the field, 100% avalanche where they just making you fumble each and every time. That's not real. It's not what happens on the field every single Sunday. So I'm glad they're going to change that up a little bit. We'll get into that. And we're going to talk about the depth chart changes. And those are just my top three features that I'm looking forward to in Madden 26. What about you?
Well, my favorite features that I like on the new game, quick adjust from the offensive line. We kind of get spoiled with Tackmaster and Conductor being able to make so many changes. Then the game drops. You only can make so many adjustments pre-snap. Being able to flick a stick and slide your offensive line left or right at the line of scrimmage will help you set up blocks. You don't have to spend 10 seconds sitting trying to set up the block early blitz. Something that plagued everybody with the loop blitz this year, not being able to slide protect correctly. Secondly, I like that one of the biggest issues, like you said, the avalanche, you had conservative ball carrier for 6 months after they botched last year with the spin early on coming from college. Instead of just taking the spin down, you get Chris Johnson, you get Judkins, you get the super spin, you can steer it, and it caused a lot of problems, which just meant they turned up the fumbles, and then you had 6 months, Rich, of everybody playing Madden on conservative. Because who cares if I can juke somebody out their shoes if I get breathed on them a fumble? So just go on conservative. And that took us through the competitive part of the year. And I think it hurt gameplay because you want to see the spins. You want to see the jukes, the jurtles, the stiff arms. And when people aren't using those features, you don't get the true feel of the game until late game when they added Tank back in and Truz. So being able to go back to Madden 20, the last time they had the cover ball feature where you hold the RB and it covers it, people broke it and used it to run faster. So they took it away. And I think it's a good feature of a cat and mouse game of, okay, you going for a hit stick, I can brace. Maybe you didn't use a conservative tackle and I broke the tackle, but it slowed you down. It's just it's a small skill gap, but it's something that's needed because if a person doesn't have the presence of mind to hit their RB and cover the ball, maybe they should fumble. And taking conservative out of the game, I think will change things, but they'll just have to fine tune the balance on the hit sticks and the fumble. And third, last but not least, after we got the cover ball, after we got the quick adjustments in Madden 26, going back to something that we needed to add back in the game is just simply being able to play a more balanced version of it. And I think we're going to get back to that. And with Kirk being part of the team, that's something that they needed is since Agent K was gone, needing somebody in Madden that actually cared about Madden and adding in the small little details. Because I'm not for the big, huge changes in Madden because they always get broken. The small things, sliding the line, like you said, 50% of the abilities triggering. Because I always wanted the abilities to trigger when you user it. So this see ball, catch ball thing, we're gonna see how they do. If they don't wind up manipulating, dropping some ability where you don't have to look at it. I just think like the small details in Madden are the best changes year to year.
Right, and I agree. And just to add on, like your conservative ball carrying, because I felt as a runner myself, as a run game person that likes to hand the ball off 30, 40 times a game, when they actually took away the spin move and made sure that everybody going conservative, that kind of nerfed the run game altogether because you wasn't able to hit those juice. You weren't able to really spin like you wanted to in the open field. And I think showing skill work in the open field is probably one of the best features about Madden. It shows your skill work and stuff like that. But when you having to be on conservative, you can't really hit that spin move like that because you got it on conservative so you don't fumble. So I do like the fact that they took away conservative and people are really going to have consequences for running the ball without really hitting that RB and wrapping it up. Quarterbacks we should see fumble a lot more, which I love to see that. Just runners in general, man. Like that conservative thing, that was trash at Madden 25. So I will sacrifice fumbling if they're able to take conservative away and make sure that we actually protect the ball a little bit more. Because I think that was back in Madden 20 where that mechanic was pretty important that you wrap up the ball or you fumble. I love it. That's probably one of the best features about the game. So that also ties into wear and tear as well. Because I know we both played college football and that was a big component of college football. And I think we both liked it to the aspect that you had to like kind of be a little bit more careful with how you use your players and how you ran the ball with your quarterback and different things like that because they got tired, different body parts got hurt and stuff like that. But they bring it over to Madden, which I think is a great addition because Madden has a fatigue problem. Like you just out there running and crazy. Like imagine you doing an 80-yard drive that started at a 20 and you running with a quarterback for at least 5 or 6 plays. Like he don't ever get tired at all. He's running at supermax speed the whole time and never really getting tired. So I'm hoping the wear and tear kind of works like college football to where it kind of makes you think a little bit. And I think it was college football the beta. They actually had pre-snap substitutions. So you'll be able to actually make your substitutions on the field. So it really ain't gonna be no excuse on why you can't bring in the backup if your starting running back is a little bit tired. I think that just adds to the chess match of playing Madden. Like I love it. I love wear and tear, and I love the conservative taking away that conservative aspect for fumbling as well. So I love that. I love it.
Yeah, I'm all about adding things in that I do with this. Being able to make the change at the line of scrimmage, being able to click on and trigger your ability at a higher percentage than letting the computer do it. Strafing. Young guys don't know about strafing, but hitting that back button, squaring up to go get the pick, clicking on it used to be a skill, and now they're adding in the custom defensive zones. Like last year, they gave the stem routes on offense, which gave the offense. People abused it for a couple of months. You got the stemmed out routes and things like that. Using those out routes, sometimes they were unguardable. Having custom zones and the ability to overcommit on shading may give us a more realistic approach with actually people who like to use the controller of, let me use both my running backs. Let me put in my backup quarterback to run this QB sneak. Let me shade on the outside and see if this guy can beat me passing inside. And adding that with the switch stick, now we got a real more chess match of the offense doesn't have complete control of the game at all points, and you just praying on an onside kick or maybe kicking the field goal is considered a stop. Those are the things that like just the little subtle moves like that shading outside and man coverage actually works on a zig route that you don't have to put some weird zone in to cover. Now think about how much difference gonna be when you could shade outside when a guy's going to a custom out route on third or fourth down, and then you switch tick and cover the middle yourself. Like just adding to the overall skill gap of user. No people like to say user. I be seeing some of y'all be posting clips saying user when it's the computer doing all the work. I'm talking about old school, click on, strafe up, go get the ball and snatch it. Even on offense, clicking on and going and rocket catching it, trying to catch it yourself.
Right. And I actually did play with the custom zones on the college football beta. I will say that I'm not quite sure how many people you're going to be able to put in the custom zone based on the fact that maybe the offensive person will quick hike you, but maybe one, maybe two people that you're going to be able to custom zone and move and put wherever you want. So don't expect. I mean, maybe on MUT because on MUT, especially with the high route master being on every single quarterback, people be out there making every single route possible. So maybe on MUT you'll be able to custom stem maybe about 3 to 4 people. But in a real game, probably a res game, a sweaty game, they're not going to let you custom stem all those people. You might be able to get one, maybe two off. And as far as the shading, I have to see shading in the game itself. I need to personally see it because the shading in and shading out in Madden 25, that never worked. That was total BS. So now they say you can shade a whole route combination. I need to see it. I'm not on board with that yet. I need to see it. I need to see it in action and make sure that actually works because for years, at least for the past two Maddens, shade in, shade outside. Bro, you shade outside and they go to the outside, you still get beat on the outside. So
True.
I'm not convinced about that one, but I hope it works. I hope it works. And also I saw something about the DBs are running backwards now versus what they call it, the chafing, like they used to do on like the hard flats or whatever. Like they backpedal.
Oh yeah.
I heard now they not gonna be backpedaling. They just gonna totally sprint out to where they need to go versus backpedaling because that backpedaling was bad, bro.
Yeah, that little weird drifting that they do at times.
Yeah.
But that's also part of match. But I kind of like that you won't be able to put everybody in the custom zone. The custom zone is supposed to be, I've seen this formation. The dig is coming on the backside. Let me put this second guy in the box into a deeper, 15-yard drop back instead of a 5-yard. Or this guy is continually going to run this out route. Let me put a 15 to 20-yard, custom zone out here. And I want my guy to run to the stick and just stand there. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they garden grass, but I think that's what you need. Even like with switch stick, I'm cool with the switch stick. I just hate that we went from usering 2-3 routes to a person that's just like guessing and just flipping. Like there's the penalty in it is being able to actually move and change one or two little quick adjustments, adjustments, because without the baseline press, it's really created a lot of conflict with glitching out zones and glitching out man with the auto motion. I wish they would bring back baseline press. I know it gets abused to an extent, but with the year of the spinner is part. I feel like that's my own personal opinion. I feel like the year of the spinner took the baseline press away for people to be able to quick adjust the defense. But what other way do you have with the gun normal now, auto motion going to not be able to take away certain things when it's going to pull your guy into, like you said, that stupid drift mode? No, run to the sideline. You're on a 5-yard hard flat. Do not drift to the Netherland so this clear out can come and this guy's open. And it's the same way with the same game logic with the double pass, which I hate the double pass. I can guard it. It's not a problem, but it's just the point of like somebody's whole offense is double pass because the logic of your player does not connect. You're pass committing, you're over the top, like you say in the shading, and the guy just runs out of the way and never matches to it. And that's always the fun in Madden is trying to figure out what's broken in the game, what can they update and upgrade. So I think the custom zone would be, I'm going to put my two safeties very deep and not see this formation. And it don't matter what he do because they're going to be back there. I can click on and go get it. So I like the fact, but like I said, I kind of credit that to having like Kurt and people like that being around that could tell them like, no, like this is not football. Used to be Madden used to be that guy. Madden's like, that's not football. Now we need somebody around at all times that's like, that's not football. We need this to be more realistic in this way, but it's a small adjustment. It's not some huge adjustment that they make.
Right. And like I said, every year Madden comes out with all these defensive features that they got and they put in the game, and then the game launch on day one, and none of those features work. Like I said, they've been BSing us with shading in and shading out for like years. They even got an ability one step ahead and yada yada yada. Like none of that works. Like they just got a bunch of features in there that look good, but they never work because when you be raging out, the number one reason why you rage out is because you have somebody shading to the outside and they throw the ball to the outside and it's a completed catch. And you don't understand how your dude is so far away when you told him to play to the outside and you knew that they was going to the outside. So I'm not convinced. I mean, it sounds good. I also saw that they put some new formations in there that maybe counter some of the most popular formations, such as the bunch and tight end strong. They got a new cover 4. I'll wait and see when it's in the game because the bunch formations have been unstoppable for the last 30, 40 years. So for them to maybe put a counter in, I imagine that's probably not going to work when they first come out on launch. But we'll see. I'm excited, but I had to see it.
Yeah, now I always gotta wait for a time to disagree with you, Rich. And this is the time. Even though bunch in bunch strong tight trips formation has been kind of like meta, this was one of the years where like that gun normal was the meta, and it was the first time I seen gun bunch not be like the most used formation. So I think they're getting some parts of it right. That at least year to year there has been some change from the 3-3 loop to the Overstorm Brave, to the bear formation with the 3-3-5 wide audible down, to the 4-3-6-1, to spinner, to now the dollar where the 2 safeties come down. But see, people get mad about people running those same formations, but if they're the easiest to use, like if you don't have base align, that's the closest that you get to base align is audible and dollar out of those double safety. Because, with a custom zone, I could tell those 2 safeties now, I don't want you to move. I want you to stay right in the seam, and I could switch stick that, or I could click on pre-snap. I just think that slowly it looks like, but I agree with you. I'll have to believe it when I see it, that they're putting the control of the things that you do in game back in the user's hand and take away the ability. So this year being 50-50 on the abilities, which I always said the abilities should work if you click on, and then it's kind of like random if you don't click on. But I think this is the first step towards it, because you can't get all the way to it in like one title or like one quick update. But watching Bob Hill's CFM with no abilities and then watching them go year 2 with abilities, you get to see like some people struggle when they got to click on. Some people struggle when they gotta go catch it themselves, or when they gotta actually take that user instead of running into the tackle or running into the center or trying to trick out the line. No, you have to go tackle the running back. Like that used to be a part of the skill gap of defense is, okay, you got to stand over top of the running back. You got to mirror him a little bit if he's going to run the inside zone or base. And I can't rely on inside stuff or no outsiders to just be in a 3-man front and shed 6 people and go tackle the running back in the backfield. Then you don't need 700-pound Falala playing running back or JC Latham, because that regular running back, Tony Pollard, or, y'all got Williams and the guy from Texas now, like you got an actual running back there that's regular running back size that's trying to break that tackle. And I want to see the slow, subtle skill gap come back in, and it seemed like they making the right step in the direction. Now, I don't want my MUT game to be interfered with snow and all this other stuff. Now, but I do think for CFM and for like just quick matchup, online head-to-head, I sent the friend request game, non-comp, just a friendly, I think that's a cool feature. You know what I'm saying? Like bringing in something, because they got enough tools to be able to put these things in the game. It's not killing them to put these things in there. But when it comes to the comp games, I do want that dome. No, nothing like skill on skill, no added thing in that could change it up. But
see, the only reason why I say I don't mind the weather in games is because they already got stadium momentum in the game already. Like, have you ever tried to play a MUT game in Buffalo and kick your field goal or kick your PATs? The shit is just swaying.
I never liked any of that. I always thought that like when it came to the comp game modes, when you send the comp
Right.
invite, which is something real easy to do, that it just goes to that neutral site wherever the Super Bowl was at, and clear weather, no stadium pulse and all, no extra additives. Not the Tennessee Titans get better run blocking. Not the Chiefs. You can't make an audible. Like,
See,
okay,
Seattle, the little squiggly lines and stuff.
no, the
Like,
Buffalo
you got that
Bill
in
where
the
your
game
kick
already.
thing do like this.
So what's the problem with the weather? Why not have snow games? Why not have that? You know what Madden needs? Madden needs dynamic weather. Like, I remember that probably being in the game a few years ago. Like, depending on real time weather, that's what the
Okay,
game
yeah.
conditions was.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I could go for that, but see, those were all like friendly matchups. So like on the
Right.
friendly matchups and things, or even head to head, I'm cool with that being there. It's just like when it comes to the
I
comp.
want to get toxic. I want to see it
Oh
in
my
MUT. I want to see it in MUT champions and ranked and stuff like
No.
that. Like if I got to deal with Buffalo and Seattle and Kansas City, bro, give me some snow because I'm coming in all white, bro. You had last year in MUT, you had a whole the zero chill field, bro.
I hated that.
bro.
I hated that.
it
I'm
matched-
turning the headset on to dog you out if you do that.
I was a Cowboy user, so it matched perfectly with the Cowboy
Yeah,
uniforms.
Cowboy fans gotta
But-
have something to hang on to, man.
But you know what I'm saying? So every time I got that shit in, I was lipping my chops. I was like, yeah, this is dub because my Cowboys blend in with the field. But if you got the freaking momentum in the stadiums, I don't see a reason why we can't have dynamic weather and MUT online games, like either rain or snow and stuff like that. Like it come December time, like it's snowing in Buffalo. Bring the dynamic weather. I want to see that online head to head. I want to get toxic because I'm coming in my all whiteys.
Man,
you know-
nobody care
I
about
mean-
the Cowboy whites, man. Listen,
But I'm all about an advantage, though. I'm a runner,
Yeah,
so
Cowboys need
I
an
love to run
advantage.
in the snow.
And I do like the mechanics of how the run looks, but I think the run will be impacted by everybody not being on conservative too. So you'll
Oh yeah,
get
that's gonna be a huge W.
it'll change. Now that was just a segue. You know I'm the setup master. That was just a segue. I know you seen Lamar Jackson do a juke and a spin move in the backfield and pull up and throw. Now, if they're able to put that to archetypes where only specific archetypes can do that, now that's interesting because that adds, but it needs to be a risk reward factor. Yes, you can spin in the pocket, you could juke in the pocket and throw, but the attributes of the accuracy, if you did spin in the background and let's say you got hit by Bosa or somebody, and your fumble chances go up. I know everybody hated the lessening of the skill gap with Truz on the quarterbacks and Tank at the end of Madden this year, seeing that guys don't have to have pocket, guys don't have to know how to slide and throw the ball away. They could just get teed off with Eli Manning or something or Drake May and not fumble. I think that'll be a cool addition into the game to see them finally add something other than just gunslinger, of like, that's a realistic trait of Lamar Jackson and his archetype. And it's a realistic trait of Jalen Hurts and what he did in the Super Bowl to be able to elude and take off running and do running back moves in the backfield.
And you also got to mention Kyler Murray, because I heard something about the physics of him as well, being short, not being able to see over the offensive line. So that might impact him unless he's out of the pocket. I thought that was pretty a cool mechanic if it works the way it's supposed to. That's also going to be built into MUT as well, I think. So that really is going to matter, like how tall your quarterback is and different things like that. But Lamar Jackson definitely, it was cool to see. Jalen Hurts is cool to see as well. But also the Kyler Murray aspect was pretty good as well. So we'll see. These are things I need to see
I
because
agree, because you remember a few years ago the highlight of Patrick Mahomes laying out completely vertical, throwing the pass, and nobody ever seen that animation when the game came out. Because we were all like, man, our quarterback's gonna be able to do backflip passes and stuff, and then nobody actually made that pass as many times.
Yeah, I
as
never
people
seen it
tried.
at all. I never seen it at all.
So let's go back. Like Madden 24 to 25, the switch stick changed the game. I think people's ability to pick up the loop blitz was the difference in people being able to use auto motion. Now get your crystal ball out. Shabba Buddha got the crystal ball, but get your crystal ball, Rich. What do you think are going to be some of the hidden features that's going to be the biggest difference in the meta from 25 to Madden 26?
I mean, obviously, the number one is probably going to be the non-conservative technique that people can do. It's going to be some fumbles in the game. I know you probably remember part of what Madden 20, Madden 21, where the hit stick was really introduced, and then there was a lot of fumbles. Like, because last year they introduced Boom Tech, but Boom Tech just turned into something that just lights up on the field. It really never did anything because everybody's running on conservative. So now you take that ability away. Now you have Boomstick, and then now you can't put the ball. You gotta protect the ball, and if you don't protect, it's gonna be a fumble. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest skill gap. You probably gonna get a lot of people raging or a lot of people complaining about how they can't, like how they're always fumbling or whatever, and rightfully so. It should be fumbling. I do need to see wear and tear being in the online mode before I really have an opinion about it, because like I said, I hate that in mud that your bench depth really doesn't mean anything. I mean, other than filling out your team chems or whatever, like your backup center, your backup running backs and fullbacks, like you don't even utilize those people at all, other than like team fillers. So I'm very interested to see wear and tear. I think that could be another skill gap because people, you put together wear and tear, and you also take away conservative. People are gonna be running on tired, and then they're gonna be running on red. So that's just going to increase more the fumbling and different things like that. So I think that's going to probably be a skill gap. Probably one of the most hidden ones is probably custom stems on defense, because when I was able to use it on college football, it was a game changer. But like I said, you're not going to be able to probably custom stem 3-4 people. That you're going to have to pick one and then be able to like go from there. But I think that's probably going to be the biggest skill gaps. And we all know that Mud and Madden is real fun for the first 2 months. Mud is fun because there's no abilities in Mud. You got to really know how to scheme. You got to really know how to execute and different things like that. So I'm very interested to see how these features are going to go, considering they took away the 100% guarantee. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's like my thoughts is like always like early on people try to find the best blitz. I do think seeing how the new line logic works with the quick adjust will be a big part, because when you have a custom stem, when you can get the tendency of somebody and kind of like tailor fit it to that with switch stick, now it's going to be people trying to find pressure sending more than two. Like Madden 25, you can send 2 or 3 and get home, and if somebody sent 5 or 6, you block it perfectly. So I want to see hopefully they change it to where guys are having to send 5 and 6 to get home, and like how they're able to use those zones in a cat and mouse game to be able to cover certain routes. And also with see ball, catch ball on defense with strafing, having to anticipate routes a little bit more. And with the abilities only working 50% for offense and defense, I think early on, like a person's ability to freestyle the game, and it may be a run heavy game early on, if people able to stop these offenses early on. So hopefully it gives us a new meta. But I think those are gonna be the changes that people are gonna be seeing right out the gate. And hopefully, just hopefully, I haven't seen nothing yet. They haven't announced it, but last year them bringing Madden Classic back out the gate was big. For all the people to be able to play regs, all the people that beat their chest, that say that they the best, that show up in February, March, April, May, June, and July after the game's been out for a year, like to say that they the best. When that regs Madden Classic drops, there's no ebooks. Nobody's had time to really lab the game. There's no paywall that somebody can buy this or buy that. And people don't really know the rosters all that well, especially with the new positions. You got the gadget players and, new playbooks, new plays being added. Some people gonna be able to make their mark, and if you want to make your mark, that Madden Classic is people's best chance. And then getting, like you say, getting in the first, August, September, October of MUT is to me the greenest area, because you team building, the AP is low, there's not a lot of abilities on the field, and there's not a lot of passing abilities that are real game changers. So I just want to see the beginning. I'm always most excited for the beginning of the football season to see what's different about the meta to really get into it and really spend a lot of time with it. I think last year everybody was excited for college, because it was the first time college came back, and now EA can use college to basically lab up new things they want to add to the football universe and bring to Madden,
Right.
which, like you say, wear and tear and a few things. But last year we was all excited, 1 million concurrent players playing college football the opening weekend. Now I think you transition to people getting some of their trust in EA back with some of the new features, and by the time Madden drops with all the different trades and changes that happen in the NFL, I think everybody is really excited. And people won't say it, with college football and them bringing the classic back, this has probably been the closest that people spend more time on CFM and regs and starting to ease out of just that mutt. Because it's contrary to popular belief, Rich. People believe that you and I only care about mutt, and that is not the case. We just
No.
want to see money and time and effort being spent on these other game modes to where it's some kind of like worthwhile experience.
Right. And one of the probably the most, you were talking about hidden features, right? Probably one of the most hidden feature that you probably going to see in the game, and probably people really not going to utilize or even know what it is probably one of the mechanics. And this is another mechanic that I need to actually see work before I jump full onto the ship. It sounds good, but I don't know if it's going to work, where you are able to mark a player as someone that the O-line should not target, especially when they be blitzing.
Yeah.
Because you know how people hover over the center, hoping for a disengagement. So now if you mark that player, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be the user doing something dumb, trying to get a disengagement. So if you mark that player, the O-line is not going to like pay any attention to that. And that could really help out a lot of people when someone's running like a mid blitz and doing all those crazy little loops and stuff like that, because a lot of that is really initiated by the user. So if you can say, hey, don't pay attention to that middle linebacker hovering over the center, pay attention to everybody else that's coming in, they're going to be able to pick up the blitz a little bit more easier. So imagine if people are not doing that and they just looking silly, trying to do a little disengagement. Like, I think that's going to be a huge feature, because now, granted, if you mark them and they come, they probably going to get picked up. I mean, they probably not going to get picked up. They're going to probably come right in. That's the consequence.
User rush.
That's a consequence of using that feature, but I would take it. I would take it if it really helps out my D-line not dumb out by thinking that person's going to blitz when all they're going to do is back up and go into coverage.
True.
I would take it that they're going to get a free rush if I mark them and they just rush. I'm okay with that. So I'm okay with different changes that may result in something that go against me, as long as it's positive when I actually want to utilize it, right?
Right.
Because, yeah, I'm okay with that. Kind of like with the fumbling. Like, I'm okay with fumbling if I can get my spin move back. If I can get my run game back, I'm okay with fumbling because I'm not covering up the ball. That's fair.
I agree with that, because that was what I was about to say. Is like, that's the trade-off, is you could give up the user rush or the delay blitz when the person puts the mid user on a spy, stands them there, and clicks in after they engage the block.
Right.
But like, that gives us, that's user. You know what I'm saying? Like, you made the choice to let him go. You make the choice to say no, block the user. And if the user rushes and you actually bluffed it and you didn't, and they pick him up, now you're scrambling on an 82 speed defensive end or a defensive tackle with your quarterback that you know can get outside the pocket. You know, like, those are the things that I like, being able to scramble but stop and set your feet. Like, I seen they said that about Joe Burrow, like, you got to set your feet with him and it's a more accurate pass, you know, because that's the chess match of making somebody choose to guard this route or choose to go after the QB or choose to send 5 or send 6, or they're bluffing, you know, because now the game feels kind of lazy at times. And I think they're pushing more back to where, like, you have to own this as a player to control the skill gap.
Yep. I agree. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I was excited about the deep dive, but I kind of say that every single year, where I just can't wait till Madden 26 come out, or Madden whatever year it is. I say that every year, and then I say, hey, I'm not going to get Madden. I'm not going to do that. But then by that time, they already got my pre-order money from months ago. So either way, no matter how bad I talk bad about the game, they going to get my money. Like, I'm swiping the card no matter what. So it is what it is. I reserve the right to talk about what I pay for, okay? So I'm all good there. So I know you can't wait for Madden. I can't wait for Madden. But, hey, Madden season is upon us.
It is,
I can't wait.
right around the corner.
We don't want no excuses. Like load up on the first day it come out, load up. First week it come out, load up. We don't want to hear no excuses that hey, the game is fresh to everybody. Okay, this is my first game, and I can take an L in the first week. I mean, I don't mind. I don't care.
The whole year, but
yeah, everybody take L's. Don't be afraid to play.
Make sure y'all signing up for the tournaments when we do them. Me and Rich gonna be playing in a lot of tournaments. Sometimes when we host the tournaments, we kind of get out of the loop of not playing by hosting so much. So this year we're gonna be playing in all the tournaments. So if y'all want y'all chance to knock off Rich Black Man, to beat up on Old Man Buddha, and put a few more gray hairs on my head, sign up for the tournaments, play in them. We'll be playing in them. And just trying to grow the community of Madden. We all love football. A lot of changes was made in the game. A lot of changes was made in the NFL period. A lot of new head coaches, a lot of new players, especially Cam Ward. I'm ready to see what he can do. I know you're excited about having George Pickens and a new running back, in Dallas. So it's gonna be an interesting year of football this year, to say the least.
I can't wait. I don't know why you guys asked for us to be in the tournaments. That's just further going to decrease y'all chances of winning. But hey, y'all asked for it. You're going to get it. So when we put y'all in the first round, we don't want no excuses. Okay, we just thank you for your donation and keep it pushing. We'll see you in the next tournament.
For sure. All right, man. We out, man. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe.